You were an accident. We only wanted one child. That's what my father told me when I asked for assistance with college costs. More than 10 years later, with just one phone call, my brother lost his job. Now they're seeking me out after finding out I'm a CEO, hoping to reconnect. Hey, Reddit. When I was 15, my father said something that etched itself into my being. You were an accident. We only wanted one child. He said it calmly, as if it were a fact, not something that could break a person. I remember staring at him, waiting for him to laugh or say he didn't mean it, but he just walked away, leaving me in the kitchen doorway, clutching my report card, straight A's, the one I thought would make him proud. That night, I stopped trying to gain his approval. My brother, Alex, was a favored one. Star athlete, handsome, dad's mini-me. He could fail a class, wreck a car, even lie to our mom, and Dad would still give him a reassuring pat and say, he'll sort it out. Me? I had to figure everything out by myself. When it was time for college, I had the grades and the ambition, but lacked the funds. So I did something I promised I wouldn't. I asked my father for help. We were in the living room, the TV on and his whiskey glass in hand. Dad, I started softly. I got into State University. Full tuition, but I still need help with housing. He didn't even look at me. How much? $3,000 for the semester. He smirked. Ask your brother. He's the one I'm investing in. I blinked. Investing? He turned to me, his eyes icy. You heard me. You're not a good investment. You're smart, sure, but you're soft. You lack the drive. I clenched my fists. I just need a chance. That's when he repeated it, slower this time. You were an accident. We only wanted one child. Mom didn't say anything, just sat there pretending not to listen. That night, I realized I was on my own. I left the next morning. No farewells, no bitterness, just determination. I worked 2 jobs, studied during lunch breaks, and slept on a couch in the back of a bookstore. Every dollar I earned and every grade I achieved was a silent promise to myself. One day they'd understand what they threw away. 10 years went by. I built a startup from nothing but borrowed laptops and caffeine. I learned to lead, to fail, to rebuild. Eventually, that startup transformed into a legitimate tech consulting firm that grew faster than I ever imagined. Within 5 years, I had a corner office overlooking the city skyline. My name was on the door. CEO, the same title my father once deemed a mistake. One Monday morning, my assistant knocked. There's someone here to see you, she said. I looked up distracted. Who? She hesitated. Alex Walker says he's your brother. My pen froze. Alex. I hadn't heard that name in years. Send him in, I said quietly. The door opened, and there he was, older, anxious, the smugness gone. He smiled awkwardly. Hey, it's been a while. I just nodded. What do you need, Alex? He laughed softly, trying to sound casual. I didn't know you ran this place. Most people don't, I replied. He shifted uncomfortably. So, I've got a bit of a situation at work. My boss is being unreasonable. I was wondering if you could maybe talk to someone for me. Who's your boss? He hesitated. Richard Taylor at Titan Consulting. I smiled. Ah, one of our subsidiaries. His eyes widened. Do you own Titan? I leaned back. Own it? No, but I control its contracts. His face paled. Wait, are you saying? I nodded slowly. With one phone call, I could decide whether Titan keeps or loses a client or an employee. He swallowed hard. Please, man, I just need a chance. I tilted my head. Funny, that's exactly what I said once. He blinked. What? 10 years ago, I said calmly. When I asked Dad for help with college, he told me I wasn't worth the investment. I reached the phone on my desk, pressed one button, and said quietly, cancel contract renewal with Titan Consulting. Alex's face turned pale. What did you just do? I stood up. Something Dad taught me. He stumbled backward. You can't. You wouldn't. But I already had. The call was made, and within an hour, my brother was fired. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. I didn't stop him, didn't explain, didn't apologize. For 10 years, I had carried their words like a scar. Now they finally felt the sting. 2 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I ignored it, then another and another. Finally, a voicemail. It was my mother. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Your father's not well. Things have been tough since Alex lost his job. He's asking for you. Please come home." Home. That word felt different now. Because the place I left at 18 stopped being home today, they called me a mistake. I leaned back in my chair, watching the city lights flicker through the window. After all these years, they finally wanted to reconnect, not out of love, but out of necessity. Part of me wanted to go to see if they'd changed, but another part knew some wounds heal better when left alone. That night, I sat alone in my office, thinking about that 15-year-old boy standing in the kitchen with his report card. He had wanted nothing more than to make his father proud. But now I realized something. I never needed their approval. I just needed to prove to myself that I was enough. And I did, but the story wasn't over. Because the next morning, they showed up at my office, both of them, and what my father said that day would challenge everything I thought I had forgiven when they walked into my office. I wasn't sure what I felt. Anger, pity, maybe a mix of both. It had been 11 years since I last saw them. Time had aged them. My father's hair was thinner, his shoulders less certain. Mom clutched her purse like a shield, her eyes darted around the room that screamed success, the success they once said I'd never achieve. I stood up from my desk and crossed my arms. They didn't move closer. Not yet. My father was the first to speak. "You've done well for yourself." His tone was flat, as if acknowledging it pained him. I didn't respond, just waited. Mom broke the silence. "Your brother's struggling. He hasn't been the same since I made a phone call." I interrupted quietly. "I know." She winced. "He has a family, you know." "So did I said softly. "Once." My father's jaw tightened. "This isn't about the past, son. It's about family." "Family?" I repeated. "You mean the kind that calls their own child a mistake?" He sighed. "We said things we didn't mean. You were young. We were angry." I stepped closer. "No, you meant every word. And you know what? That's what helped me build everything you see here." He looked around the room at the awards, the glass windows, the skyline view. "I'm not here to argue," he said finally. "I'm here to make things right. Your mother and I are not doing well. The house is gone. Your brother's unemployed. We thought—" I raised a hand. "Stop. Just stop." He blinked, caught off guard by my tone. "This isn't easy for us, you know." I leaned against my desk, looking at the man who once had control over my entire life. "It's funny," I said. "For years, I begged for your approval. I thought if I worked hard enough, achieved enough, you'd finally see me. But now I don't need you to." He frowned. "So you're saying you'll let your family suffer?" I met his gaze. "My family? You made it clear I wasn't part of it. You said you only wanted one child, so maybe you should ask him for help." My mother's lip quivered. "Please," she whispered. "Your father wasn't himself that night. He regrets it." I looked at her. "Do you?" She hesitated, then lowered her eyes. That was answer enough. My father's patience snapped. "You're bitter. That's all this is. You've got money, and now you think you're better than us." I straightened slowly. "No, Dad, I don't think I'm better. I just learned not to keep chasing people who never wanted me." He scoffed. "You think success erases where you came from?" I smiled faintly. "No, it just proves where I refuse to stay." The air between us grew heavy. Years of silence, resentment, and unspoken pain hung like fog. Finally, I walked around my desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out an envelope. "I already knew why you came," I said, "so I prepared something." My father's eyes lit up for a moment, the same greedy flicker I remembered. He reached out as I handed it to him. He tore it open immediately. Inside was a check for $1. He looked up confused. "What the hell is this?" I met his eyes. "That's the investment you denied me for college, plus interest." He froze. Then his voice rose. "You think this is funny? You're mocking us?" I shook my head. "No, I'm closing the account. Whatever debt I owed you, real or imagined, ends today." Mom's tears finally fell. "Please don't do this." He's your father. I sighed softly. He was my father. Now he's just a man who taught me how to survive. My father's face hardened. You'll regret this. I smiled faintly. You said that once before when I left home, but the only thing I regret is ever believing your words mattered. They stood there in silence, realizing there was nothing left to take. Finally, I walked to the door, opened it, and said quietly, "Goodbye." Mom hesitated. Dad didn't. He stormed past without looking back. When the door closed, the room felt lighter, quieter. I stood by the window, watching their car vanish into the city. It was strange, the peace that followed the storm. For years, I thought revenge would empower me. But standing there, I just felt free because it wasn't revenge. It was release. Later that evening, my assistant came in. "Sir, your next meeting is waiting." "Reschedule," I said. I needed a moment, not to celebrate, but to finally let that younger version of me rest. The one who believed he wasn't enough. The one who stood in that kitchen, holding a report card that no one cared about. He finally got to breathe. As the city lights flickered on below me, I whispered, "You were never a mistake." Not to anyone. Not anymore. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. No return address. But I recognized the handwriting. It read, "You were right. I never knew how much I hurt you. I'm sorry. I hope one day you can forgive an old man who was too proud to love his son." I didn't respond. Not out of hatred, but because forgiveness isn't something you give for others. It's something you give to set yourself free. And I already was. Now, when I look at the skyline, I don't see the success they doubted. I see proof that pain doesn't have to define you. It can build you, shape you, and lead you exactly where you belong. And sometimes the best revenge is simply becoming everything they said you couldn't be.